What's going on TikTok and what's going on Facebook and YouTube? This is Ruben Escalona with another live stream of Behind the X's and O's. We're getting started a few minutes early just to make sure that we got everything done and ready to go for our guest that's coming on here in the next few minutes. If you haven't noticed the post that I put, that I sent out a few. And we're having our friend and longtime Red Alpha supporter, Michael Casillas with Graybeard Entertainment. He's going to join us here in the next few minutes, and we're just going to have we're just going to riff, like Michael says. We don't have any scripts. We're just going to have a real talk about what goes on in the local live music scene. From Michael's perspective, he's been doing this for a long time. I mean, I think I've known Mike for, I don't know, about 10 years easily, right? And so he's been a long time supporter of Red Alpha Custom Prints, a customer who has become friends. And so I was like, who should I schedule for our next live stream? And Mike was at the top of the list. He was willing to come on board and just chat with me and kind of like we used to say, chop it up, right? If you're on TikTok, my wife is trying to figure out how to put the audience link, our Riverside audience link, so that you guys can click on the link and then you can be part of our live audience, right? Because if you're in TikTok, you can probably see me, but you won't be able to see Mike. But if you join through the audience link of Riverside, you should be able to see both of us, and then you guys can chat. You can send messages through the chat. My wife is the producer. She's over there, so she'll be able to respond. And I got some some live chats, and I can actually see it here too. But I'm going to be too busy talking, and so I may not be able to look down at the chat and get to you right away. But I will see it come across my screen once my wife looks at it and make sure that it's not someone who's trying to play around and just make sure it's someone legit. And then we'll field the question. I'll answer the question. If you guys know Mike Casillas and you have a question that you'd like to ask, send that through the chat as well. And then I'll make sure that I ask him if for whatever reason we can't see that. If you're on TikTok, the only way that I'm going to be able to see these is if you go through the Riverside app so that I can see your questions. Otherwise, if it's a question that you have that I can respond afterwards, then I'll do so. But if you want to be part of the live audience, join the link. You should have seen a post, especially if you're on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. I'm pretty sure even TikTok should have had it. If not, you're hearing it right now. Check, within the post, and if you can see it, yeah, there it is. My wife right there. She put the link right there. So scroll up and click on that, and then send us a message. Let us know that you're coming in from TikTok, because I want to make sure that TikTok is getting in on the conversation. We got folks from YouTube, hopefully, that are following us and that are following Mike, and you never know who's actually scrolling right now and says, let me see what these two guys are going to end up talking about, and we'll go from there. And speaking of the devil, Mr. Mike just clicked on. Mike, what's going on, man?
How you doing, brother?
Doing good. I was just talking about you. Were your ears ringing?
I was just trying to. I didn't realize the link you sent me was one that I had to set up an app for. I was like, uh-oh, let's go ahead and knock it out.
Yeah. For $5.99, you got to set up the app. No, I'm joking. It should have been free.
Gotcha.
But I was kind of introducing everybody who might be listening. I'm also broadcasting to TikTok, and as you know, on TikTok, anytime you go live, it could be anybody from anywhere. Like I'm seeing people just as they come in and come out, and so that's pretty cool. I haven't been able to figure out how to connect it to the Riverside app yet. And
Yeah.
I think I just need to get my followers up or something, you know. So hopefully, pretty soon we'll be able to get that get it all connected to this Riverside app, so I don't have to look at the phone over here and then look down here at the camera that I have connected here to my laptop. So what's going on these days, man? I was just telling everybody that you and I've been. I mean, man, I think it was like 10 years ago that we first met. At least ten
Been a
years,
while, at
and
least.
and I was just telling everybody that you know you've been a long time supporter of Red Alpha Custom Prints, a customer who's become friends, and man, you know it's like you launched Graybeard Entertainment a little over a year ago. Is that correct?
It started probably a little closer to about 3 or 4 years ago. For about the first year, I was just really trying it out, and I wasn't really. Matter of fact, I wasn't taking any commissions on anything I was setting up. For a while, there was a venue on the south side of Abilene that wanted some live music, and I set up probably about 6 months worth of shows for them. And I said, we'll give it a shot and see if it helps your business and if it helps bring in any people, which it did for a small amount of time. And but they weren't doing a real great job of advertising the live music or really much of anything, either on any kind of social media platform that they had. So it was kind of a moot point. And then I said after a while, I said, okay, um, if I'm going to continue to do this, you either have to put me on retainer or something. And they never
Yeah,
really wanted to continue it, so I just went off on my own. So for about
yeah,
2 or 3 years solid now, I started doing it where I set up commissions with musicians that I know, or some that I've never even met, and I just got to be kind of okay at it, pretty decent at it, I guess, and I've stayed pretty busy with it.
yeah, yeah. I can tell, man. I see. You know, you seems like you're booking almost every single day. It seems like. I mean, that's when it's coming
Yeah.
up on my feed. I'm like, man, this guy's he has definitely stepped into his purpose. It seems like, you know, and I mean, it's just some good stuff, man. It's good to
Yeah.
watch you go, man.
It's a little different.
Yeah, but
Booking is a different beast. It really is. Most musicians, for those of you who don't know out there, I'm also a musician. But the one thing that most people truly hate is booking their own shows, or booking for other people. It's just a painstakingly arduous task that every musician out there will tell you. They've sent out a dozen inquiries, 2 dozen inquiries, 100 inquiries, and they won't get anything returned as far as the response from a venue. Not a no, not you're not right fit. There's absolutely no response. It's what we call in the business the blow off.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but I've managed to kind of work a few tricks um, into booking multiple shows with multiple venues, with multiple artists, because kind of how I got into it, which was when I was helping book for one band that I was in. The the problem I kept running into is that, like everybody wants to book a July 4th show or New Year's Eve show or some kind of special show, Memorial Day, whatever, because it seems to either have like a bigger crowd, they're going to do something special for it. So what was going on is that I was um, calling, emailing, texting, direct messaging, Facebook or Instagram, dozens of venues at a time. And then I would get the one show that I was looking for. Let's just say it's, June 10th or whatever. Well, all of these responses would come back, and ironically, they were coming back for the same date that I was already trying to book. So I would say, "Oh, I'm very sorry, I'm booked at that moment," and it'd just be dead and done with, and that was an opportunity wasted. And I didn't realize it
yeah,
until it was a little bit too late. And then I started getting smart about it, and I was like talking to my friends that were looking for shows as well, also on the same date I was looking for, and I already knew what
yeah,
the venue was offering. I already had an idea what the package was, so then I would tell the venue, "Hey, what is it you're looking for?" And they would tell me in response, country, rock, jazz, whatever. And I have friends in those categories that were looking for shows. And I said, yeah, let's go ahead and book it, except I wouldn't talk for myself. At that point, I was talking for this person or that person or this person. And then I would a lot of times book the show, not even knowing 100% if that one person I was booking for is 100% available. Because if they weren't, I also knew two or three backups. So I would
Yeah.
say, sure, so and so can do it, and they say the terms are agreeable, and then I would send a performance agreement to my guy or gal, and then I'd
Hmm.
start making a little bit of commission off of that, and then I just started steamrolling it from there. Where
Yeah.
not only was I booking for my own bands, but I started booking for other people's bands or solos or duos, or where people
Hmm.
were just having trouble making connections, and I already had the link. Sometimes
Yeah.
that's the hardest part is making contact with somebody because you don't know if you're dealing with a manager, an owner, a bartender, someone's wife,
Yeah.
you know, and then that
Yeah.
person, and you just, or that, and that person's um, maybe not there in 3 months, and all of the effort you put into that one person is gone now. And
Yeah.
by me constantly following up and trying to get these venues to give me a shot, I would start getting all of these names and I start getting all of these opportunities to get my foot in the door. Once I had my foot in the door, I was like, oh, hey, remember I told you about this guy or this girl or whoever? And instead of booking just one show for me and walking away, I'd book one show for me, one for this guy, one for that guy. Because I knew they had all of these dates
Hmm.
available. They gave me a list of 6 dates, but I can only perform one of them. So I said, well, let's put
Yeah.
5 into these others.
Yeah.
And
Heck yeah.
so
Seems like you
that's where it
developed a
went.
system.
Yeah, it started
Yeah.
being
And
that
one
way. It
thing that,
had to be.
yeah, whenever you came by, I can't remember when it was, but we had a little time to talk, and you were saying, about whenever you work with the venue that you make sure that you take care of your artists, regardless of what the venue is actually going to do. And
Hmm.
I thought that was a cool deal right there because, you know, uh, just being from the outside, like I'm from the outside, and I'm just kind of my perspective is just shaped from what I see from you and what you and I have talked about, and just other friends that are in the music industry, that kind of deal. But whenever you mentioned that to me, I was like, well, you know, all the musicians, as many as possible, need someone like Mike to kind of be that person that will like go to bat for them, because if a venue decides that they don't want to follow through on their end of the deal, you're the person that's going to make sure that the artists are taken care of, and because of that,
Hmm.
I think that kind of a unique a unique deal. You're not just a musician, but you're also someone that can be that representative to them, and then make sure that they're taken care of.
Yeah, it's not easy. There's only been a handful of times, and all of the shows I've ever booked where I had to come out of pocket to cover something that a venue decided to welch on or something. It's a gamble sometimes, and technically I don't have to do that. No booking company or booking agent has to cover anything that the venue decides to change their mind on. Usually, it's all in writing, and I could easily, go to small claims court or God knows what else. But I mean, the amount of money we're talking about is so minor that
Yeah,
it wouldn't be worth it. It would be drawn out, and then of course you burn a bridge, which sometimes happens anyway. But I've tried to take it upon myself to make sure that if I tell a client or a musician, say, hey, it pays 600 plus tab or 1200 plus tab or whatever it is, no matter what, it's gonna be that period. And
yeah,
and luckily, thus far, the venues I've dealt with all over Texas, some in Oklahoma, some in Louisiana, some wherever else, everybody has been true to their word. Only maybe one or two times here and there that just didn't go quite right. Um, I
yeah,
had to come out of pocket, which is unfortunate, but I try to be a man of my word.
yeah, yeah. And so that's where that same conversation came about, and it's something that I need to make sure that we get back on track. But I had talked about, that companies like mine and other small businesses that are also like really trying to get their name out there and things like that can for a like a small amount just kind of help out. And then it's like every one of your posts says sponsored by Red Alpha. And I mean, I want to thank you for that, man, because you've been consistent even though I haven't been consistent, you know what I mean? And that's just I think we sent like one payment or something like that. So let me talk to my accountant to make sure that she gets on the stick about that. But it just means a lot, man. So I mean, at the very least, I'm sharing your post, and I'm like everyone, I'm sharing that, and hopefully that there's someone somewhere that are like, hey, what is this all about? Let me look into it. Whether it's a company or a musician or a venue or something like that, and they give you a call, and then that can make up for my lack of follow through. But we will get back on track, man. But it just kind of like just that thing. I was like, well, man, maybe small businesses can actually help out with that. Just in case a venue does does go back on their side of the deal. If you have enough businesses that are like sending money your way, and then you're just giving them a shout out. It's like it's kind of a win-win situation if more people would participate.
Well, luckily, if every musician is different as far as how their finances are. Some people survive solely off their music income, whether it be merch, Spotify spins, selling rights to certain songs, whatever it may be, and that's how they pay their light bill or put food on the table. In my case, I don't necessarily do that. It's like a supplemental income. And
Yeah,
so what I do is anything that I make with Graybeard goes into an account, and some is in checking, some is in saving, and there's some that I use. Like say if we go out of town, which I travel outside of town a lot for music, and I use that card or that account to pay for my fuel, pay for my food, whatever else, anything I've made as a drummer or as a booking agent, whatever. And then the other is in savings, and it's we're not talking about thousands of dollars here. We're talking about 500, $600, not much. But if for
yeah,
some reason, like say a venue welches or something goes sideways, and I'm trying to keep my venue, and I'm also trying to keep my client, and I have to use that money for whatever else. I kind of created like um, a little safety net. That's what I try to do,
yeah,
and luckily thus
yeah,
far it's
yeah,
worked. Now back in the
yeah,
day, 10 years ago, definitely music was a part-time job, no question, because it helped me put food on. Literally, I mean, I had to put food on the table that way. Since
yeah,
then, it's kind of transitioned to like a little safety net for me.
yeah, yeah. We just got a message from Joe Dean. He said, "Here, here," to something you said. And so, Joe, what's going on, man? Thank you for tuning in. We got Mike Casillas over here. Just want to let you know, Mike, that Joe sent in a message.
Yeah,
He is definitely in
yeah.
agreement with something that you just said here.
Yeah, well, Joe Dean and I,
But
we've been
it's good to
friends for
see
a very
him,
long.
man. And
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Joe Dean and I, we've been friends for a very long time. We've been bandmates in the past. We've played hundreds of shows together. I help him book into certain areas where he has not played, or certain areas where maybe he lost contact with the original person that was helping him get in there. Whatever the case may be, I've been helping him quite a bit, and he's a hell of a musician. Everywhere he goes, he makes me look good. So
yeah,
it's a win-win.
well, that boy can sing, can he? He can sing, can he?
Yeah, he sang. He don't do no cute shit.
He
He
can
sang.
sing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's an
Yeah, he
amazing
can
guy.
sing. That's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so yeah, I see a lot of his stuff, man. I definitely he's actually a customer of ours. We did some
Yeah.
stickers for him not too long ago, and we printed some
Yeah.
of his merch. Thanks to you for hooking us up there, But yeah, man, it's just like we're like a happy family, man, and like anything that we can do, obviously, to help you guys out. But you've always been there, man, and I'm trying to think of the very first time that we met. I don't even remember like who introduced us uh, or how we
We
met.
met at
It just
a
seems like I've always known you.
we met at a fit camp when we met through Charlie and Andy
Oh yeah,
Quinones.
that's right.
That's how we
That's
met.
right.
And
I do remember. That's whenever we met you and your wife, right
yeah, we're
at a
doing like
fit
5
camp.
a.m. workouts.
Yes, 24 fit. Remember that? Yeah, because we were wearing some shirts that said the Alpha Rojos or something like that. That's whenever I had that Raglan shirt. Well, we'd wear different shirts out there, but oh yeah, I do remember that. Was it at the park or was it?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Well, the
we
park
did it
and
a couple
the
different.
YMCA gym. Yeah, the park and the
Oh
YMCA
yeah,
gym.
yeah,
Yeah, that was a lot. Like I said, we
yeah,
were doing 5 a.m. workouts, and they were just doing those fit camps, and that's where we met,
hmm
and been basically been friends since.
yeah. And neither one of us has stuck to the fitness or Herbalife or nothing, man. We're about that cheat life.
Oh my God, I could ramble on and on about fitness and the lack thereof, but I think you've done a far better job keeping in better shape than I have, even though our schedules are normally very very crazy. Like I said, I think you've done a better job of it.
I don't know about that, man. It's hard. I'm trying to get to the gym, and it's like, I keep telling myself that I'm better than this, and it's like, it's man. Once you fall off, it's hard to get back in. And I've been trying. I think I'm back like maybe 3 weeks now to where I've been going to the gym. I'm not gonna say consistently. One week it's like twice. One week I went 4 times, and then once. So it's at least I'm going, but man, trying to get back consistent to the way I was like 7 years ago. We were going almost every day, my wife and I, and now we're just kind of like, you know, we're not as good as we used to be, I guess. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I was doing pretty good for a little while there.
oh yeah, that's right, that's right. You were.
Yeah.
What
I
happened?
Well, two things happened towards the end of May, or during May was a very busy month for me as far as getting out there and performing, and that's also when we went to the Kinfolk Band and I. We went to Louisiana, and we ended
Yeah,
up doing several shows back to back towards the end of May. And then I got a pretty bad respiratory infection, I guess, like everybody else in Texas at that same time. And I mean,
mm-hmm.
I just couldn't shake it for about 3 weeks. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and take some time off to kind of heal. And then, of course, like you know as well as I do, oh, you know about this, but I've got knee injuries that aren't going away. And
Yeah,
I was reading up, I've been reading up a lot on it, and they're saying with meniscus tears, you have to rest. And I'm in the gym 3 or 4 times a week trying to make my legs stronger, and all I'm doing is making my knees hurt more. So I'm
mm,
going back in here soon. It's just that I was trying to give myself an honest month of as minimal uh, movement as possible, just because I'm a heavy guy, and that's a lot of weight on knees that are bad. So
yeah,
yeah, so I've been taking time off. Now I could have gone in there and done sauna and a few other things, and maybe light stretching, whatever else. I should have done that, but I was just kind of thinking to myself, I need to take some time off to kind of heal in any way possible because
yeah.
right knee doesn't hurt as bad right now, but the left knee definitely is hurting me.
Mm, I hear that, man. Yeah, I've been there. I've definitely been there, man, and it's a hard road back. But hopefully you'll get healed up and rested up, and you get back in the gym, and both of us will be some swole mofo's here pretty soon. Because one of the gym that I go to, they have this program. It's called the Age Well, and so man, that's been on my mind lately. As I'm getting older, I'm like, I want to be the type of dude that can still get up and go and play with the grandkids and all that stuff. And I don't want to, have to be the guy that's just watching them and, you know, from a wheelchair or
Yeah.
something.
I watched
And
that segment you did on the bison attacking the grandfather or whatever, and
yeah,
I was laughing, not at the guy that this happened to, but I was laughing at myself. I said, I'm sorry, I'm the sacrificial lamb. I'm the fat guy that's gonna get gutted by this big bison. Hopefully my family gets away, but I can keep them busy.
yeah, Yeah, you be the sacrifice. Well, I'm like, I tell my wife, I said, all I have to do is just be faster than the slowest person. So
Yeah,
I am not gonna be getting hit by no bison. And I
yeah,
don't know if it was going after my wife, I might sacrifice myself, stuff like that. But that was his grandson. His
yeah,
grandson was
yeah,
no, he had a long-haired grandson was nowhere to be found, man. And I was like, man, I mean, at least he could have did something to distract the bison, man. He was, I don't even think he was nowhere to be found. He bolted.
yeah. No, if
That's,
that had been me, man, you'd have found what was left of me on that field somewhere, and hopefully I went out for a right cause, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah. I was
I was
seeing,
gonna touch base on
I was
some.
seeing
You
some
said there was
rumors.
something earlier about if it reaches somebody, what we do. You and I working together, and you talked about that briefly earlier.
Yeah, what's up, man?
That's kind of one of the things that for me is very, very important. A lot of artists, musicians, they feel that it's a competition, and it's not. I have no trouble sharing if someone starts up a new band, or someone is about to make their big debut, or someone's about to do a CD release party, or someone's pushing merch. You can put that on my page all day long. I don't care. I'm happy to do it. And this right here, it's not even one of mine. This is Cruz Cardenas out of Weatherford, Texas. He's a buddy of
Uh,
mine I met in the stockyards through Jimmy, and he's out there. He's a hustler, man. He works all day, laying cement, and he's playing every night. 3, 4, 5 times a week if he can. He just loves doing it.
yeah,
So anytime that I can support you or anybody else I know, I do it. I got stuff from all kinds of people. Some of I've never even met.
yeah,
So that
yeah. That's awesome, man. That's just you got a gift, man. It's like everybody that you consider a friend. I mean, I see it. I see it with my own eyes that you are like a strong supporter of the people that you care about, and and so I'm just honored to be one of those friends. You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody, because some guy that he was looking for one of the tip jars that hit me up, and he said, that you had sent him over, and automatically if it's someone that mentions your name, I'm like, like I want to take care of them even a little bit more. You know what I mean? It's like not that I actually do different quality over another person, but it's like whenever I want to make sure that I take care of them, just because of the respect that I have for you.
thanks.
And like obviously, whenever your wife called me with the Better Business Bureau, I told her straight up. I said, um, it's because of Mike. I said because of Mike. I said, I have one opinion about the Better Business Bureau just from my own personal experience, but and it's not really her, because I know her too. I think we met both of y'all at the same time, but obviously you and I are closer. But I said if it wasn't you, and it wasn't Mike, and it was just someone from the Better Business Bureau, just my personal experience, I probably wouldn't have, because we have gotten calls from other people over the years, and then it's usually just the same thing. But with her, I told her, I said, I'll definitely like listen to, what might be different, and then I'll just kind of be watching, and then hopefully it works out the way that you say it is, with the new CEO and all that stuff, and then
Yeah,
and then we'll step in whenever we want to. But that's one thing. Whenever we first got in business, man, I was doing all of the stuff. I was the Chamber of Commerce, the Hispanic Business
yeah,
Council, the ads for Next. I mean, we were like in ministry, and we were just like we were running for mayor or something. And and so it's just one of those things to where it's like, after you've been going for a while, you actually see who like who your real friends are and who your real
yeah.
supporters are, and that's where you kind of separated yourself from a lot of people, because I mean I've known a lot of people as long as I've known you, but
Yeah. I've always said along. Yeah, I tell people all the time. They said, "Do you want to know if somebody's your real friend?" They're like, "Yeah." I said, "Tell them no. Tell them no often. Let's see if they still
yeah,
support you."
yeah, exactly. That's one of the hardest things to do. Also, like if you're someone who's always wanting to look out for people, and then you're kind of like, I had to develop my own system. So like every November, I said it's November, so that means I'm saying no to everything because I had to train myself. I had to train myself to say no because I was one of those, those yes men. It's like if in ministry, if they said, "Hey, can you drive the bus?" Sure, I can drive the bus. Can you teach Sunday school? Yes, I can teach Sunday school. Do you want to be part of this board? Yes, I can be part of this board. And can you help us do this and do that? Yes, I can do that. And it was like, and after a while, it's like, hey, well, somebody say yes to me, and and then so I had to learn how to say no, and now I'm pretty good at it.
It happens.
I'm
It
really
happens.
good. But man, you mentioned the guy that I didn't know if you wanted to bring up, good friend of both of ours, it's I don't know if you want to even go there, but you had said that you met that guy Cardenas through Jimmy, and uh, and so man, every time that you make a post, and I mean his stuff just seems to pop up still like on YouTube, through my memories feed.
Yeah.
Jimmy was one of those guys that was always supportive of our ideas. We've done a lot of stuff for him, printing wise, and with the gyms and all that stuff that he had. And so it's hard not to think of him whenever I'm seeing your posts because it was like there was a strong connection between you guys, and then it was like I was kind of seeing it from the outside.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't talk about him too much. I get too emotional too fast, and that's
yeah,
just the
yeah,
truth. I can talk to you
yeah.
about it sometimes because we were so close to him, but I get real emotional real fast because he was a polarizing figure. Some people hated him, some people loved him, and that's
Hmm.
just the way it was. And but
Yeah,
I've said it before. Without him, there would be no Graybeard. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah, I saw that post whenever you did that, man, and it's true. But yeah, so it's like moving on from that, man. It's like you know, uh, you are now doing the gray beard kind of full time, man, and it's something that I always get excited when someone transitions from like a corporate job to like full time business, because I've been there before, and like
yeah,
it's one of those things like. It's like if you send somebody to watch Game of Thrones for their very first time, and you're watching their reaction on thinking that the main character is going to survive past season one, and I'm like, that's the way when I see a new business, a new entrepreneur or someone just starting their business, it's like, man, I know exactly what like. I know the emotions you're feeling, but I also know the brick wall that you might be hitting, you might be about to run into here in the near future, and that's kind of the reason why I started this behind the scenes stuff because everybody puts their highlights out on social media. Every when you ask, how are you doing? It's like I'm always doing good. I'm growing. We're in a
yeah,
growth phase, whatever. But the truth is, man, it's like as soon as the cameras go off, we're sitting here like, hey, we need to follow up with these people and close this business because needs to be taken care of, and that needs to go through. We got to order this material and things like that. And so it's those behind the scenes conversations and situations that most people don't talk about because they don't feel comfortable. And so I wanted to shed some light in the music industry because I guarantee you, for every person that you have represented, there's other people out there that don't have any representation, and they're like, man, nobody knows how hard it is to be a local musician here in Abilene or in the surrounding cities. And this type of conversation, at least somebody can say, hey, you know what? That guy relates to me. Let me see if I can't link up with him and make it easier on each other.
yeah. So personally, I cannot represent every single person that has come to me for help or advice or whatever. I just can't. I don't have enough resources to be able to dedicate enough time to every single person who comes in. Now, there are some that stick out above the rest. And of course, you've seen quite a few here lately that I've been booking. I've booked for several over the years, don't get me wrong. But here lately, what it has been a lot of is, you have Joe Dean, you have Cheyenne Pittsman, you have Maxwell Garza, You have, Nasty Nate band out of San Angelo. Of course, my own band. Um, those have been like the top tier for me because they're the ones that are constantly checking in with me, as far as doing that. Now, I've like I said, some people I've booked maybe one time, and they don't like it or they don't like to paying a commission. I get it. Or they feel that they should have gotten paid more, or God knows what. There's a million reasons, and they say, no, I'll go back to doing it myself. And then, but it's unfortunately it takes too long. The one thing
Yeah.
you won't hear a lot of when it comes to this, and I want to get it to eventually. It'd be kind of nice to be able to do Graybeard as being able to paying all my bills through it. That'd be awesome. But you have to deal with
Hmm.
extreme highs and lows. There are venues that will cut off their music program mid-year. About five of the top venues I've been dealing with over the last 2 years have closed down or gotten bought
Yeah.
out by somebody. There's been over a
Yep.
dozen in the last 5 years that I dealt with all the time that are all gone now. And then you have to start dealing with proximity. So let's go local. Locally, we don't have a lot of places in Abilene to play music. We have a few.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody has their own rules to everything. Some people want to be dealt with directly. Some people don't mind dealing with an agent. Um, but the problem is there's only 5 to 10 places to play music, and there's
Yeah.
500 musicians in surrounding counties that are all
Yeah.
looking for somewhere to play.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
easy, and it's a saturated market, which is why I travel so much. So
Hmm.
to do that, you have to be willing to do it. And then Abilene, for what it is you know, it's not a small town, but as far as music venue wise, yes, it is. And if you've got a reputation, good or bad, it will follow you. And some people
Yeah.
they'll choose not to deal with you. So I tell all my people, I said, hey,
Yeah.
I do it mostly in private text message, or otherwise I'm like, hey, that's not a good post, man. And they're like, why? I'm like,
Yeah.
it doesn't look good on you. There's a reason I have at least three to five social media pages because Mike Casillas might say something that is unpopular, but Graybeard and Kinfolk only talk about music. We only promote
Yeah.
music. We only promote our dates. We say, hey, look out for this guy or gal, and they're coming to a place near
Yeah.
you, and so on and so forth. But with my own personal page, I won't go into too much detail, but you know where I stand politically, you know where I stand religiously, you know where I stand in a lot of ways, and it's
Yeah.
usually for common sense and decency. Even though I can be a scoundrel at times, we all are. But anyway,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
that. And when it comes to booking, like I said, with locally, you are dealing with only a handful of places. It didn't used to be that way, but unfortunately, venues come and go, and that's what happens. So when I constantly scour the internet for venues all the time, and a good way to do that, if you're out there and you're just starting out and you don't know where to look at your friends, find out where they're playing.
Yeah.
If they don't tag the venue
Yeah.
properly, look up the venue, Google it, look up the approximation from your house to that place, reach out to them. I encourage collaborations all the time because so and so may have a regular spot at like the White Elephant in the Stockyards. It's hard to get in there, very hard, even for me. And if you have a
Yeah.
friend that plays there every other Monday, and you say, hey man, I'll go add percussion, no charge, or I'll go do whatever. But you're already on stage. So now that you're
Yeah.
on stage, you have access to this guy or that girl or whomever's booking, or at least you have your foot
Hmm.
literally in the door, and that will help you.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of opening gigs for people, some famous, some not famous, and those
Hmm.
interactions you have with people, number one, act right. Don't be belligerent. Don't be
Yeah.
brutish. Don't be looking for trouble. You're in this business
Yeah.
to get new venues, to make money, to develop relationships, because you never know when you're looking for a special player that can do the job, and they may come in the pinch for you, or you may be looking for somebody specifically for recording, and you've met
Yeah.
that person because of the venue. So when it
Yeah.
comes to both in town and out of town, relationships are very important. Perception is very important. How you
Hmm.
dress, I'm terrible about it. I'm a fat drummer, man. I like t-shirts and shorts and ball caps, and I have hair,
Yeah.
So it's like it gets people will pick apart everything. Some venues will ask you about your streams or your followers or anything like that, and then you have an idea what it takes to make money to be able to go to and from, and they may not see it your way. It doesn't mean that they don't value your product. It's just they just can't unfortunately pay for it. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah. And how can we flip it? How can we flip that script to put like on the venue, right? So like let's just say I'm the owner of a venue, right?
Hmm.
And what have you seen that having live music like brings to the table when it comes to a venue? Like if there's someone that might be listening that say, hey, I'm getting ready to open up this new venue.
Hmm.
We're going to have food. It's going to be the
Hmm.
atmosphere and things like that. And they're not really sold 100% on having live music, or they're just not sure how to go about it. From your experience, what is the like the what is something that the new venue owner should take
Okay.
into consideration when it comes to live music?
From speaking to as many owners and venue managers out there I've spoken to, you really want to use the rule of thumb of 10% return on investment. Well, say your Monday is your busiest night. Typically, it's not, but just say it is for whatever reason, and you make 4,000 that day on an average Monday. Okay, not
Mm.
terrible, not great. You can afford up to $400 for entertainment because entertainment is strictly a luxury item. If you already have
Yeah,
a great
yeah,
venue, if you have a great venue, you don't have to sell the band for them to pack your place. You've made it a point to be that's the spot to be on an average Thursday or Friday or Saturday, or some of these venues that do
yeah,
middle of the week like on a Wednesday. That's very smart. It's hard to go against the church, but um,
yeah,
as a venue
yeah,
owner, you have to look for where your cost is. A lot of people who get into this business were either musicians at one point in time, are musicians now, so they're fans and they don't look at the music objectively enough. Where there's
yeah,
fans and then there's business, and you have to know what you can afford to do. Um, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of the venues that I've played in the past that were probably the most fun or most well received, depending on what kind of band you're in, they were not probably the best paying shows, but you got to connect with the audience. You probably made more of your money off the audience than you did the venue, or equally as much.
mm,
Um, and
yeah,
that's this thing. Now, I've also played venues that pay a lot of money, and then they also have stipulations in the contract because I signed a lot of contracts about we can't drink before or after or during or use foul language or mention politics or religion or wear uh, torn clothes. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Of course, my guys are instructed on what not to do or what to do, and those venues, they're about as corporate as you get, with the exception of playing for some law firm. But if
yeah,
you play those kinds of venues, they pay great, and they also probably don't treat you that great because they
yeah,
have the money to do so. So you're a background item. Some people want you to be front and center and want you to help
yeah,
build their crowd, but in reality, musicians are a luxury, and if your business is not built up enough without music, it's not going to be built up enough with music either. So you can't look at
yeah.
failure as in that's, oh, we did poorly because they didn't bring in a good crowd. No, you,
Right.
you paid the rate I wanted you to pay because that's what it took for me to get there. And
Yeah,
we did a good job. Unfortunately, not enough people showed up. I've seen great bands bring in nobody, and I've seen half mediocre
yeah,
bands pack a house because that's kind of how it went that night.
yeah. Well, I know in the rare time that I go and there happens to be live music, and they're serving alcohol. There's something
Mhm.
about live music that makes you want to have a beer or two. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
so if they have that at the venue, live music is going to help, in my opinion, it's gonna help you sell some food. It's gonna help you sell some beer, and I don't know. I'm just what do I know about it? All I know is
Well,
whenever I go in any type of entertainment, it just kind of makes you want to indulge a little bit.
yeah, and you're not wrong there. A lot of us too. We will come in from to get set up. We'll go in before we even bring our equipment down. We'll go in, say hi to the management, and talk to everybody, and then we start setting up. And often, almost every time I play somewhere, if someone's got like $2 drafts or whatever it is that they're wanting to push that night, we mention it about a
Yeah.
thousand times in our set. A lot of
Hmm.
musicians are known for that. A lot of musicians in the past got paid premiums to come play venues and circuits because they could get the crowd to drink more. And what you're
Yeah.
facing right now, and I don't really know the statistics on it just yet, because I was reading an article about it the other day where liquor companies are reporting all-time lows in sales right now, at least in the U.S., because a lot of people have
Hmm.
given up drinking. I stopped drinking 3 years ago. A lot of my friends stopped drinking either last year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever. And then you find out real quickly you
Yeah.
don't have a music scene, you have a drinking scene. So you have to be
Yeah.
good at selling something. Whether it's their
Yeah.
pasta
Yeah.
primavera or God knows what else. It may not be alcohol, but it might be something that they serve that you get them in there in the door for.
That's right.
In reality, you want to work hand in hand, and you want to be able to deliver a good show as a musician. You want to have a good rapport with the venue, and you want to help the venue be successful. Maybe they didn't come there to see you, but they liked you and they stayed,
Yep.
and that's
Yep.
important too.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so that's it. When it comes to venue owners, I've reached out to a few people that, like you were saying earlier, they're wanting to get into live music and they don't know what to do. And I've sat there and I've spoken to several, and some take my advice, some don't, and that's okay. But I've said I've seen a lot of venues close down or cut their music program completely off. There's nothing wrong with having a small-ish budget in order to be able to pay people and bring in like a solo artist. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people out there that can perform. Joe Dean's one of them. He can sit there by
Yep.
himself on stage and get you singing with him, and get you drinking with him, and get you laughing with him and crying with him, because he has that personality, that touch, and
Yeah.
that's one of those things that you have to do as an artist. It's not about going up there and playing songs you like to play or doing what you want to do. It's about connecting with the crowd. It's about
Yeah.
giving them something to hold on to. You never know who shows up to that place and had the worst week of their life. And you might have
Hmm.
given them a small ray of sunshine in a sea of darkness, man. You just don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. The music is definitely it's something powerful, man. If it's done right, and you can kind of change the atmosphere just with the right song and the right person singing it or playing in the right band playing it, man. I definitely know about that. But yeah, man. So I mean, so we talked about the venue. We talked about the scene here in Abilene. Is there anything that maybe we didn't talk that I feel like we just kind of skipped around, bounced around. But is there anything? I mean, you said let's just riff. So I mean,
Yeah.
riff to me, like I'm just like whatever comes to my mind. But is there anything that maybe we didn't mention that we should talk about when it comes to the local music scene here in Abilene?
I think I touched base on this earlier, and it didn't hurt to kind of retouch it. Just that people don't have to feel like you're in a competition with another musician, whether it's this town or any other town. So and so's getting more press, so and so's getting more gigs, so and so's whatever. It's all about hustle, man. I mean, that's when it
Yeah,
boils down to it. There are a lot of musicians, like I said earlier, I can't represent everybody. There are a lot of musicians that reach out to me that, let's face it, they're developing their skills. They're not the best. But if you go to their social
yeah,
media page, they're booking a lot, and they're either playing for the minimum, they're playing for tips, they're doing open mics, they're doing something, but they're getting on stage. And the more you get on stage, the
yeah,
more likely you are to get on stage at other places, and the more likely you are to develop. That's all there is to it. And that ought to be another
Yeah.
thing too for people. If you go and catch somebody's like, oh, I saw him a couple years ago, he sucked, or I saw her, da 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 da. Well, yeah, he was learning, man. You know, give him a
Yeah.
break. Go out and support him again. See what's going to happen. I wish everybody took the time, because everybody has the time to bitch and moan. Everybody makes
Yeah.
time for that.
Oh yeah.
More people need to go out on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday. There's venues in town that incorporate music with their food on Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays here in Abilene. Go out and support,
Hmm.
man. If you go out one time a week, go to that one place. You'll be supporting two
Yeah.
things: a local
Yeah.
business and a musician that could probably use some merch sales or tips.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
make the time. I mean, I know we're all overworked. I know we're all tired, but get out there and go support, man. I buy. Oh my God, I buy stuff all the time off people. Yeah, I buy stuff all the time off people. I got friends of mine that perform on TikTok. That's another venue too. People sometimes get tired of getting rejected by a venue, so they go busk on the street. Are you familiar with the term busking?
No, but I
Okay.
think I can. You just go play out on the streets.
Basically, I mean, busking is just playing kind of where everywhere. Sometimes you have to get permission from the city, or they have city busking areas like in Austin and Dallas. They have certain designated areas where you can do it, probably so you're safer or you don't get hit by a car or whatever. But there's places here in Abilene that you can go downtown and do, and there's a lot of businesses are kind of cool. As long as you're polite and if they ask you to leave, leave. But people can busk out there because they can't get into a venue. Around here in Abilene, especially, country is king. Okay, country and Christian is king. And they go hand in
Hmm.
hand. They're almost cut in the same tempo. The words are eerily similar, and the style delivery is very similar as well. I can sell an 80s,
Hmm.
90s country guy all day long. Maxwell Garza is a great example of that. He's young, he's very talented, he's got a very developed voice for a young age, or any age anyway. He's got a solid, what I call a rock star voice. He's really good, and it's
Hmm.
easy for me to book him almost anywhere because around here, that's what everybody wants. Not everybody wants punk
Yeah.
or metal or deathcore or God knows what. Even my band is Americana folk, and it doesn't go over well around here. Always, it's something different. So whenever they want something different, that's when they bring us in. You know what I mean? But whenever it's a daily routine, they're gonna want country almost always around here. Now some places
Hmm.
they want strictly jazz, or some places want R&B. That's their thing, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you're good; it just doesn't fit their venue. So I tell a lot of musicians, don't waste time trying to be down the door of a place that you don't fit. It's not that you're not good enough; it just doesn't fit.
Right.
So
Right.
stop wasting time on
Right.
that. Put your energy where it's going to go the best. And that's like I said. I
That's
tell
right.
people that all the time. And it because rejection is not fun at any age. I don't care how good you are. I don't care how long you've been doing it. Rejection sucks, man. You and I both know that. It's just a matter of whether or not you're looking in the wrong place to begin with. You have to know where to go.
Yeah. I've never been rejected in my life, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what rejection feels like. Everybody says yes to everything that I sell, man.
I guarantee you, man. At any given time, anytime you and I talk,
Psych.
it could be 1 in the morning. It could be 8 a.m. It doesn't matter. At any given time, I have at least 100, 200, 300 emails, voice messages. I cast such a wide net
Hmm.
that I face rejection daily, hourly,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's just one of those things you learn to deal with. I mean, you develop armor skin after a while. It doesn't hurt as bad.
That's
It's
right.
not as personal. But then you start looking at it. Well, maybe this guy's having a down month, or maybe the last 6 months he's been losing sales because he lost his kitchen manager, or God knows what else. Anything can hurt a
Yeah.
business, and people take it personally.
Hmm.
And then you start looking at yourself. You're like, am I asking for too much money? Well, technically, no, I'm not. But it's just not in this dude's budget. And And
Yeah.
some,
Yeah.
you ask one person, hey, this is what I need to be able to play. And they say, oh, we can't do that. Well, you guys sound great, but we can't do that. And then the next guy, the very next day, you may have tried on this other guy for 3 months in a row. And then this guy, the very next day, the very first time you talk to him, oh, yeah, that's perfect. We'll do it. It's like
Yeah.
that quick.
Yeah. That's right.
It's so
Yeah,
crazy.
you got to go through the numbers, man. That's something that I'm definitely experienced. But man, you touched on a couple of things, and I gotta hit them like one by one, right? So
Sure,
you
sure.
talked about how country and Christian music are the easiest things to sell here in Abilene, right? Well,
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I saw a post where you were a drummer
Yeah.
was it at Mission
Admission
Abilene?
Abilene. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, all
Well,
right.
the kid,
Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.
well, well, the kit I'm playing is actually the kit I donated to the church.
Really?
So that
See,
I donated that
y'all
kit.
don't exactly. See, people don't they don't factor that kind of stuff, right? They look at people who's going to church every Sunday and all that stuff, but half of those people aren't going to donate their kit. But Mike Casillas, right? Maybe you won't see him up in church every day, but he's the one who donated, right? So boom. What do you got to say about that?
That one right there, it was just my boy Doc Turner. He and I have been friends for a long time. We've been in bands together for a long time. And we were doing a fundraiser that Kinfolk was a part of a while back. Jim Mackey had recruited us into that one, asked if we would play for it. Of course, we donated our time. I think almost everybody else did too. And there was a lot of musicians on stage that day. Great lineup, all around, and the guys came out with their A games basically. So we were talking, Doc and I, in the parking lot, and he was like, "Hey, do you have any kits, that you would part with?" And I only have a couple, so it's not like I have 12 kits on me. Only got a couple. And I said, that Pro of mine's just been
Right.
sitting in storage for years, man. It's really not doing much. I said, let me clean it up, and then I'll bring it by. He says, "What do you want for it?" I said, "Don't worry about it, man. I'm not looking for a
Yeah.
pat on the back. I'm not
Yeah.
looking for anything. It's been sitting in storage. I've made my money on that kit 1,000 times over. It's recorded a few albums. It's seen the Lukenbach stage. It's seen stages all over Texas, and I'm proud to say that. And I said, you know what?
Yeah.
It's just sitting there rotting away, and it's best to go ahead and give it a new home. Fast
Yeah.
forward, where the church actually hit me up, and they were saying, "Hey, we don't have a drummer right now. Would you be interested in filling in?" And there's another drummer, but he's not available till like the 1st of August. So I'm only filling in for a little bit. And I guess if someone needs a time off for a break, I'll fill in there too. I don't mind. It's fun because I get to play with Bill and Doc, both former bandmates of mine from Secondhand Profits, as well as Los Formigos, the
Oh,
original line, and
yeah.
they're just great dudes, man. So I'll go a long way for thank you. And when they say
Hmm.
thanks for filling in or thanks for the kit, whatever, I know they mean it. So
Hmm.
it's one of those things where I'm happy to do it. I mean, I have the time, I have the availability. That style of music is a little different, so it takes me out of my comfort zone, and I'm not doing it for anything other than I get to share the stage with my boys again, and that makes me feel good for doing it. You know?
Yeah. Well, let me see if I remember right. Secondhand profits. You were the bus driver. There's the professor. There's the
Yeah,
what am I missing? Right. I have a
Doc.
pretty good memory, but
I think it was Doc, the teacher and the preacher. Or something. I was drinking a lot back in those days. I've forgotten a lot since then. So I would
yeah.
call you up,
Well, you know
ripped out of
what,
my mind.
dude? I got to say this, man, and I've said this before, and I'm proud. I'm proud that you gave up drinking. I am, but part of me does miss the late night, hey, I need this T-shirt. Part of me misses that, man, because I was like,
Yeah,
all right, yeah, whatever you want. The what was it, the one with the shark fin? And I mean, there's been a bunch of them that you just like in the
yeah,
middle of the night, hey, I need this shirt.
yeah.
and
I still,
and so I
yeah,
do kind of miss it.
yeah.
But man, I wouldn't trade that over you not drinking. I just Just joking with you, man. I do kind of
Yeah,
miss it a little bit though.
yeah. I have no qualms about that, man. I have no trouble admitting I was drinking pretty heavily, and I was just in a different place back then, and I seem to be in a different place now, and that's kind of where I want to be. As a lot of these younger musicians are
Yeah.
telling me, I'm in my super unk energy, and I don't really know what that means, but I think it just
Hmm.
means I became the wise janitor of the movie that I'm in right now, where I'm just the
Ah.
guy doling out advice. I've spoken to a lot of people over the last couple of years and kind of pointing them in a direction that I think would help them or benefit them. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, dude, I never even thought of that. I never even thought that way. I never even thought to try that direction. And there's a lot of things, even with Graybeard, man. There's a lot of things that I don't take credit for, and that's fine. That's okay. There are plenty of
Yeah.
people out there that that I book for, yes, and I put my name all over it, put your name all over it. And then there's a lot of people there. I'm like, do you know any fiddle players? Do you know any so and so players? Do you know any lead players? And I just happen
Yeah.
to know a lot of people. So I'm constantly out
Yeah.
there like, boom, check this out, boom, check this out, boom, check this out. I remember back in the day, I
Yeah.
got my boy Billy Alford, who's recovering from, throat surgery. So shout out to Billy Alford. He was playing with some
Yeah.
people that he had never met, just walked up like 5 minutes before the gig because they needed a bass player. I'm like, I can give you a guy that's world renowned and got thousands of hours recording time and can play literally anything with anybody, anytime, bad enough to where,
Yeah.
the group Yes posted one of his songs
Yeah.
on their personal page because he was doing a cover of their stuff and he was doing such a badass job that Yes was like, hey, this guy's
Mm.
great. So I was able to,
Yeah.
put him with a lot of people
Yeah.
back in the day. And I do that a lot of times. And those are the ones that are just like the freebies, man. Those is like, well, I just happen to know a guy and that guy just happens to be great at what he does. And you should talk to him.
Mm.
And because I've
Yeah.
developed a reputation, people seem to think I know what I'm talking about. It's just like right now, you and I are talking
Yeah.
right now, and I'm going through like a big bout of imposter syndrome right now because I've done interviews like this in the past, and I never feel I feel like I'm faking it the whole time, but in reality, I've actually put in a lot of work over the years to develop a certain skill set that's helped a lot of people out. But it just feels weird talking about it, with you on the video and all this other stuff. I mean, I can talk to you about it all day in private, but when we go public, it's weird.
Yeah. I was like, you said a couple of words that I've never heard you say in 10 years. I'm like, what has he got, a dictionary or something? I've never heard Mike say whatever, astute, or I can't even remember the word you said. I've never heard that word come out of his mouth ever. Look at him, being all
My old,
a gentleman and a scholar.
my old boss at my former company, he used to joke around and say I swallowed a dictionary. And I would always
Mm.
remind him that I am educated. I've got several hundred hours of upper level credit, college hours and whatnot. And of course, I was well read. I may come across as a buffoon sometimes, and that's just because I like to find the humor in almost anything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in reality, like I said, I've got a brain. I can use it. It happens. My wife
Mm.
freaks out from time to time when she realizes I'm using my brain, and it works.
Wow. Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. So I do have a question, man. I want to circle back to like your gig, if you want to call it admission. What is like what's your favorite Christian song that you played in I guess recently, I guess.
I guess the more popular one. I mean, don't get me lying to you. Whenever I talk about Christian music, I'm very much a novice at it, so I'm not gonna lie to you on that one. During our
Yeah.
last set there on Sunday, it's that one that Jello Roll does. Hard something Hallelujah. I can't get I'm not getting the name right, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
that one right there. If it's because Jello Roll is bordering on the Christian country scene,
Yeah.
and I've actually I got to I guess meet him 3 years ago when he was a 500-pound guy,
Yeah.
and he put on one hell of a
Yeah.
show, and there's no question about that. I mean, he puts on a great show. But that one right there, out of the 5 or 6 songs that we did, that one stuck out to the most to me. It's just really strong. The original version has a really great chorus in it, and it has gospel, background to everything with all the backup singers. So it's really cool. But it's just
Yeah.
strong, man. It's like even if you aren't a church goer, or even if you're not leaning that way, man, it does something about getting into your heart, man. It really does. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I don't
that's a
have
powerful song, man. I remember when I first heard it, I was like, "Dang, it's a good song."
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I
so
think when I first heard it was I think when I first heard it, man, I was outside, I was wrapping a trailer, and I don't think things were really going my way. I was struggling on a panel, and then that song played, and I was like, "What is? Let me listen to this thing."
yeah,
And then I was like, "Man, this is a good song." I didn't even realize it was on the Christian set. I think it might have been playing on the regular radio or something.
yeah.
But it
It
was a
it
good
kind
song.
of it
It's a
kind
good
of
song.
it kind of you can kind of go in both ways. I mean, there are songs that I've listened to in the past that were either gospel or whatnot, and the combinations of the vocals with the drums killing it and hard bass lines and
Yeah,
stuff is really cool to listen to. Um, but as a fan aspect, would you go pay to see that? You appreciate it in
yeah,
its presence, but would you go pay to
yeah.
see that? I personally, I would not. It's just not what
Right.
drives me. Now, I can respect it, but it's just not what drives me. Now, would I go pay to see Jelly Roll again? Yes, of course I would. But
Yeah,
yeah, so I've been going around. It's been funny because the last couple of weeks I've been blasting. I'm practicing about 5 or 6 songs a week for whatever we got going on service. So I'm not really paying attention too much to as a drummer, I don't really pay too much attention to uh, the titles of the songs, which I should pay more attention to. But all have to hear is one note or the way someone sings something, and I know where we are. Because you have to
yeah,
memorize a lot of dynamics, build ups, pauses, where to play, where not to play. And that's what I memorize because I have enough going on in my head.
yeah. Well, be careful, man, because music is spiritual in nature,
Oh,
and you just never know. You might get hooked, and you'll be coming over to Team Jesus, and we'll have to schedule another video to talk about that, right? But man, I just like first of all, I mean not first of all, last of all, or now of all. Thank you for thank you for joining me, man. For just being willing to sit here and just talk about some stuff. What I thought is that there's a lot of stories out there that are not being told, and I want to try to line up as many people from as many different like walks of life and just talk about whatever's important to them. You know what I mean? And it's like anything that I can do like that. This doesn't really cost me nothing but my time, And
mm,
who knows? Someone might be scrolling and they may hear something that you said that'll encourage them to start booking for themselves, or maybe ask different questions to make sure that they do, get on the stage and things like that. And you just never really know. And so that's one of the things that we started doing. I do a blog post every day, and I was like, I'm going to start trying to bring some of those conversations, live so that people can hear it. And then, like, man, just like with you, and there's been several people. I'm actually booking for this thing right here already into the end of August, and I haven't even been trying. Um, I'm like, okay, well, let's see how it goes, and it's fun to me because I mean, I like hearing people's stories anyway. So
yeah. Well,
thank you
definitely.
for
Yeah.
joining us.
Well, definitely appreciate you having me, man. It's a personal thing. I don't do this often, and it's one of those things like you said earlier. If it's you, so if you ask me, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
sure, let's do it. Just I don't
yeah,
really hesitate. Some people, you have to trust that they're wanting your they don't want to hurt you. You have to hope that they don't
right,
want to have at you. So I don't
yeah,
have any problem with that. One thing I definitely want to touch on before we go is two things when it comes to music, man. These are behind the scenes stuff. It's not easy for sure. It's very hard.
right,
It's hard for dealing. A friend of well, a new friend of mine recently was basically in tears the other day on a post of hers where she was talking about, the blow off or this, that, and the other when it comes to music and how she struggles. She's married. I don't believe she has kids, but she's married. And
Yeah.
so being away from your family, whether it's your husband or your wife, whatever, it's hard. It pulls from the family dynamic, and
Yeah.
it's hard to put. A lot of people out there when they get involved with a musician, they're like, oh, my man plays bass, or my man sings, or my man does it, whatever. It's cool for a little while, and then you
Yeah.
realize how obsessed most of us are, and we are
Hmm.
truly obsessed with it. It's probably our very first love, and it remains ahead of almost everything. And there are a lot of
Yeah.
people that take time off. I took 10 years off from playing
Yeah.
music in my 20s because I was prioritizing raising my family and raising my kids, and I couldn't be out there gigging. I didn't, and I was working 3 jobs, so I was never available. And then the kids started growing up, and they could be on their own a little bit more, or they didn't really need me around that much. And I started playing, and
Yeah.
luckily I've been able to continue playing for almost 20 years now, since laying off. But
Yeah.
it's very personal. It's hard on spouses, girlfriends, husbands, wives, you name it. It's hard on them. So it's more
Yeah.
important than ever to go out and support somebody who's 500 miles from home or has been gone all weekend,
Yeah.
because that's how he or she makes a living. And it may be a $20 cap or
Yeah.
a $10 tip or God knows whatever, but you don't realize how much they appreciate that, how much I appreciate that. And when
Yeah.
I'm buying merch from you, that's an investment in hopefully my success, that I'm going to be able to return that
Yeah.
and make a profit out of it, because your friends, your family, everybody, oh, can I get one? Can I get one? And I'm like, dude, they weren't free to me, man. I can sell it to you, I'll give you a discount.
Yeah.
Like, you and I have been doing business for like, 10, 15 years. And I think to this day, I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever asked you for a discount ever. I'm like, hey, man, just do the best you can for me. If you can do the best, that's your best, then that's what I'll take. And I
Yeah.
don't like
Yeah.
to push my friends that way. And but that's really what I want.
Yeah.
Before I got off, well, I wanted to make sure that I put that out there, that hey, man, we're not robots, we're humans, and we have feelings, and we care a lot about what we do. You talked about one thing about
Yeah.
the X's and O's behind the scenes. You don't realize how many
Yeah.
thousands of times someone's played a song, or practiced guitars, or changed strings or heads, or things that they say you got to do something 10,000 hours to be a master of it. I've gone way beyond.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's one of those things
Yeah.
where a lot of my friends have too, and
Yeah.
and people I don't even know, they've all done that. So it's just one of those things, we devote our lives to it, and we just hope for an hour or two you appreciate what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I know that I have a even more respect for you now, just kind of hearing some of the things that you have to go through, and the time that you took off from your family, and then you're kind of like, I mean, I get it, because that's what I'm doing, man. I'm chasing a dream, just like you're chasing a dream, and in that we kind of share those things in common. It's like it's hard on the people who it's not necessarily their dream, you know, and. And so I feel you there, because, it's my dream, but my wife supports me. And so, if it were up to her, we'd both, have 9 to 5 jobs and off on the weekends, and, get off at 5 o'clock, and that's it, you know. But she happened to marry someone who had different plans, and here we are. Here we are.
Yeah, yeah, that's good that you got that, man.
Yeah,
It
we are.
takes two, man. It's hard.
It does. It does. Well, cool, man. I'd love to sit here and cry with you the rest of the night, but we're gonna go get some dinner. We're watching that show, The Bear, so I'm excited to. Uh, Something you said reminded me of that, about the food and stuff like that. I was like, I'm gonna watch a couple episodes of The Bear. That's a pretty good show.
Sounds good, man. All right, well, appreciate your time, and thanks for having me.
Same here, Mike. Have a good one. Bye. All right, guys. So we just had Mike Casillas with Graybeard Entertainment just join us. Hopefully, you guys got something out of it. It was definitely something that meant a lot to me. Mike, like what we said, is we've been friends for a while, like 10 years plus. He's done a lot of business. A lot of the bands that he's worked with, he's referred them over to us, to print their merch. The virtual tip jar that we print, which is an 11 by 17 sign, and it has the QR codes that are linked to the musician's account, so that way people can go and scan and send a tip instead of having an actual jar. That's what the musicians are doing now, the virtual tip jar. And so it's just kind of things like that. But it's good to hear from him, because he has been in the music scene here in Abilene for as long as I can know. And I'd like to sit here and say that I've been one of his best fans, showing up to everything. But him and a couple of friends that would invite us all the time, and I'm like, man, by the time I get through work, on the weekend I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to just chill. But he's right. There are people out there that are chasing their dreams, and that's something that I'm like, what, I can sacrifice, a day, a couple of hours, right? To support somebody, especially if they're a friend of mine, to support them in their chase, in their pursuit of their own dream, because that's what my customers are to me. They're people who are supporting me because of what we're doing, and the products that we sell is just a byproduct, right? It just so happens that we own a print shop, but a lot of people do business with us. We have a long-standing relationship with, and I call them friends. I don't just consider them customers, and that's just the way we do it. But I tell you what, if you are a venue out there, and maybe you're new to Abilene, and you're trying to get connected with the right people, follow us on social media. If it's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and you'll see a post from Graybeard Entertainment. Mike is really good at making sure that he posts on social media, and supporting, promoting the musicians that are part of Graybeard Entertainment, getting them booked and all that stuff. And we're honored to be listed as the sponsor for all of these posts. So if you're a musician out there and you're connected in any way to them, just know that whenever you come to do business with us, we're going to help you out, the best that we can, and make sure that you're looking good out there, with the merch. And hopefully you guys got some really cool designs, so that way people will buy it all up from you. And but yeah, we're just kind of a silent partner, behind the scenes partner in the music industry to several bands that are out there, and mainly because of Mike, he has introduced us, to a lot of people. If you're a venue, if you're a musician, and you don't have someone that's going to go to bat for you, connect with Mike, connect with Graybeard. Like he said, he can't represent everybody, but he might be able to give you a couple pointers to help you do it yourself. And you never know, maybe he might help you get your foot in the door in some of the local venues, and go from there. But like if you're a venue, did you hear what Mike was saying? These are some things that, in my opinion, if I was going to start up a new business, and we were going to we got the food, we got the alcohol and all that, we would consider, I think that it's smart to consider some live music, because I know for a fact whenever I go to a restaurant or any type of place, we went to Potosi Live not too long ago, for a deal with the Salvation Army, and the bands, man, I was like, hey, I don't normally drink, but I'm going to go ahead and have me another beer, right? And so it's just something that music does to me, and so if it does it to me, it's going to do it to the rest of your customers. And so connect with us right here, because you never know when you might see a post of a musician that might fit with the vibe that you're going for in your venue, and connect with Graybeard Entertainment as well, because they might be able to kind of link you up with the right people as well. But that's really all for now. One last thing: if you're a company, or if you're a a local artist, or if you're someone that has a story that you want to just talk about, connect with us and let's get you on the calendar for our next, Behind the X's and O's live stream. We do these every Wednesday. This month we're going to be every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. We're going to have a new guest. This week, I got to give a quick plug. This week we're doing another one on Friday at 6 o'clock. We got my man TJ Templeton, salesman from Kent Beck Motors here in Abilene. TJ's gonna sit down and talk with me about the process of buying a car. So if you're someone that is looking for a new vehicle, maybe it's your first time buying a new vehicle, and you need some advice, or you just need to hear somebody who is going to take care of you, my man TJ Templeton is the guy. We actually bought our car not too long ago from TJ, and so we'll definitely talk about that on Friday. But if you're someone out there that is looking to maybe connect with us so that we can talk about your story, whether it's your business or it don't matter. I think I can talk about pretty much any subject, right? And just send me a message, and then we'll get you on the schedule. We're already booking into August, like I said earlier, but maybe towards the end of August or early September, we can get you on, and we're going to roll just as long as people want to talk with me. But that's Ruben Escalona with Behind the X's and O's. I'm signing off for now, and we'll see you on the next one.